Hello, and welcome to Dahlia Lifting Day here at Sierra Flower Farm. The frost has finally greeted us, putting the garden into a semi-rest, but made a lot of work for us flower farmers here today. Today we're going to be covering some little tidbits on lifting dahlia tubers. It's really not a complicated task, but there are some things that we do ahead of time to prepare the lifting of the dahlias, along with when we decide to lift them and how we come to that decision for the time frame. And then we are also going to show you how we actually lift the dahlia tubers while not slicing them to bits and breaking tons of necks. So before the frost comes and wipes us out, it makes the dahlias completely unidentifiable and just brown and mushy. We go ahead and we take these little plastic tags and we tag very low on the stalks of the varieties. Because we plant our varieties by blocks, we go ahead and do it at the tail ends. And if there's any varieties that are mixed in between, we go ahead and give those a tag as well. Any varieties that are a mystery to us that we did not order and don't know how they got there, we go ahead and we tag them with a number and we take a photo and log it with that number in our phone so we can identify it at a later date. The next step after tagging the dahlias can be a little tricky. It is deciding when to lift the dahlia tubers. For us, it's a little more simple. We wait for a kill frost. What exactly is a kill frost? A kill frost is when you wake up in the morning and your dahlia field looks basically like brown mush. It is done for the season. The kill frost is great. It gives a little bit of stress to the plants, but it also allows them to go ahead and start kind of curing, getting those sugars in the tubers that will allow us for a better storage. But what happens when you don't live in an area that gets that cold and frost like that? How do you know when to lift? That is going to be basically you just kind of deciding, looking at the plant cues. They're struggling, they're diseased, they're tired. And at that point, you're going to want to go ahead and give them a good cut back. We do the same thing with a kill frost. You're going to go ahead and cut those plants back. Now, without the frost and getting that stress, by cutting back the plant, you are triggering stress to the plant. And then you can let it sit, and then it will go ahead and give those same sugars to the tubers to allow you to store. So you do not actually need to have a frost in order to be able to go ahead and decide this is time to go ahead and lift those dahlia tubers. Obviously, if you did not get a kill frost and you already cut your plants back, you're ahead of the game and you're getting ready to actually lift those dahlia tubers. For those of us that were waiting on a kill frost, we have to make that step still. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut back the stalks, leaving about 12 inches or so from the ground, making sure that tag is still on it. Our favorite tool to use is a little grape hook knife, which I lost somewhere in a compost pile, but it's pretty nice where you could just go ahead and give it a quick swipe and it's ready to go. Instead of using clippers, where you're going to be doing so much motion of clippers when you're dividing that it's going to make your hand hurt. So if you can get just a really good knife without cutting yourself and use that to cut the stalks back, you will be one happy camper. All right, here we are at finally the fun part where we get to actually do the dahlia lifting. So you're gonna need one of two tools to do this, either a garden fork or a shovel. Today we're working with a shovel because that's what we have. And we are going to go ahead and work on gently lifting the dahlia tubers. Now, garden fork or shovel, one of the big things we need to be careful about is we don't want to poke, slice, or break too many dahlia tubers. Some inevitable, but we're trying to keep the casualties low on this. All right, so here we are. We have our plants cut back, tag low. You can even see, looking at the soil, where some of the tubers are kind of coming up. This is helpful. You'll understand in just a second. So what we're going to do is we're not going to cut straight into the plant because the tubers kind of grow like an octopus. They're a little bit out. So the idea is we want to go around it and then we're going to go up and under and lift it with the shovel. This is where the stalk can be really nice because it'll give us a little bit of leverage. We don't want to yank at the stalk because that's where we can start breaking tubers and things of that stuff, but it helps to just give us a little handle is the idea. Once we get the tubers up and out, we're going to go ahead and we're going to knock off some of the dirt as much as we can, a very gentle little shake, and pulling off the clods. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean by all this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to start on the outer area And sometimes this works where the first shovelful, you kind of capture, get it under. This looks like I'm gonna have to try from another angle a little bit. Here we go. Ah, it's working. So we're up and under the tubers. Now I'm gonna use the little handle and I'm gonna use the shovel at the same time to kind of help lift these guys up. You're gonna go ahead and shake off as much of this extra dirt as you can. So this guy was a clump when we planted it, so it's a little bit of a mess. You're not gonna get every piece of dirt off. You just wanna get as much as you can, but you're gonna end up washing it off in the wash station anyways. All right, and done. All right, so now we're gonna tackle this guy. This guy looks like a little bit more of a behemoth, so it's probably not gonna come out of the ground quite as easy. So we're gonna do the same thing as before. We're gonna go on the outer area, and we're gonna go ahead and start lifting, trying to capture it underneath those tubers. Hit a rock on that one. Okay, I'm gonna come around this way. Sometimes you just gotta have a little patience, work a little slower. There we go. Same thing. Knock as much of the dirt as you can. Give it a little shake. We have a little bit of clay soil, so it kind of likes to hang in there. All right, and done. Once you have your clumps all lifted, you could do one of a couple different things. You could cut the stalks back and put them directly into storage, or you could take them to the washing station and get them ready for dividing. To learn how to divide and when and how to store your dahlia tubers, be sure to check out our YouTube video, The Great Dahlia Divide. Until next time, thank you, and we are looking forward to helping you hand bloom soon.